And good evening. My name is Ryan Belmore. I am the owner and publisher of What's Up Newp, and we are here on election night. It is 7:53 p.m., 7 minutes before polls close. I was going back and forth. We're a very small team, and going back and forth on whether I could pull this off tonight. But what I'm going to do, this is certainly not going to be a CNN production. This is going to be a What's Up Newp production. Because I have to upload data and research data and find the data while I'm live on the air with you. But I thought it was important to be on with you this evening to tell you a little bit about how tonight's going to roll out, because we are just 7 minutes from results coming down, and you can't think or look too much into them. So it's been an amazing day for turnout. Let me bring you some turnout numbers here while I do this. And we're going to pull this up, and we're going to do this. And we are going to show you some data. And I have 4 screens going on, so don't mind if I am looking at another screen on another side. What I'll do is I'll pull this a little bit bigger so you can see it, and hopefully you can still hear me. Compared to 2016, we're at 103% turnout across the state of Rhode Island. In 2016 was an incredible year, and that was a big turnout. So we're at 103%. So far, we have 482 across Rhode Island who have voted. Today, there were 168,000 as of 6:50, which means there was an hour and 10 minutes left in the day still. And thanks, Mark. I'm glad you're doing this too. So when we dig into the data a little, there are these spreadsheets here, but I have another one for you, and I will pull that over and show you what we've been working on all day. This is a What's Up Newp spreadsheet. So all of this data is from 6:50, and let me make it a little bit bigger for you. And here we go. It's a little slow. It's got a lot of stuff going on in it. But today we have seen, you can see for Newport, Newport County, so the 6 communities in Newport County, as well as Newport County, and then Rhode Island. So for Newport, we have seen 9,872 people turn out to vote as of 6:50 p.m. I'm expecting another update here any minute. You can see how many people have voted, how many people haven't voted, the percent turnout. Jamestown is just having an incredible day at 75%. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you. And what we're waiting on for votes. So standing mail ballots and etc. So people have until 8 p.m. to drop those off. Some very important things to know about tonight. At 8 o'clock tonight, in just a few minutes, we are going to see results of the people who voted today across Rhode Island. So that means in Newport, we're only at 8 o'clock. We're only going to see the results of 2,333 voters. At 10 p.m., we're going to see the results from, let me bring myself up on screen here. At 10 p.m., we're going to see the results from in-person emergency voting. So that is that early voter turnout. So, for example, let me go to Rhode Island. At 8 p.m., we're going to see this result here, the 168,814. Then at 10 p.m., this early voter turnout is going to get released, and then we'll have these 2 numbers. And then at 11 p.m., we will have the mail ballots. So we get that 482,000 in 3 different phases this evening. So at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, we get results. We'll have them for you all night. But it's important to remember that when you see these results, it's about a third, and a third, just rounding, that we're getting them in a third at a time. And don't think too much about them. Don't get too upset about them. Don't get too excited about them, because it's going to be a very long night. So, for example, in Newport, we're just going to see 2,300 people's votes at 8 o'clock. And then 10 o'clock will be another 3,300. And then 11 o'clock will be the 4,162. You know, when we look at that and we break it down a little bit, here is Newport, city of Newport, and we could see how many people voted per ward, how many mail ballot voters. This is all available on whatsupnewp.com, by the way. And early voters, we can see that number. We can see how many mail ballots are out to voters and how many outstanding. This is incredible how many are outstanding. These numbers do not include some of the mail ballot numbers we get at the end of the night at 11 will not include mail ballots that were dropped off at drop boxes in front of local city and town halls. Those will come in the coming days. So we can see here what that number looks like in Newport, for example. That number would be 274. So we're not going to see, if anything is really close, there are 274 votes that we're not going to see tonight. We have all of this. We'll be updating it all night by ward as well as by race, school bond question, Newport School Committee. We also have Middletown, where we can see the results by precinct, and as well as Portsmouth, who has had a very busy day. And all those results are coming up here in just a little while. But if you talk to anybody, if you hear from anybody, very important that we're getting a third of the votes. I'm just going to round it at a third, approximately a third of the votes at 8, 10, and 11. So 8 o'clock, ballots from people who voted today. 10 o'clock, in-person emergency voting. So those are people who voted the last 2 weeks in person at their local city and town hall. And then at 11 o'clock, we'll see results from most mail ballots. Those results will not include mail ballots that were dropped in boxes today. Let me pull this off, and we're going to give this a refresh and see what we have. You're getting a behind-the-scenes look at some of the operations that go on here. This last update was at 6:50, and we'll see what we get in a minute. Again, we're expecting results here, 7:50. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these up. Trying to decide what I want to do, how I want to entertain you while I update this data. And maybe what I'll do is I'll swap this screen and this screen, and I'll chat with you while I upload the data. So Rhode Island is sitting at 7:50 p.m. at approximately 60% of the vote. So we are going to update that for you. So this is a look into some of the data and how we do it. Oh, sometimes. And I'll read you off the data as So we have 173,000 people have voted today at a polling location. We have 164,509 received mail ballots, and we have 149,546 early voters. And while you look at this data, I'm going to update it and not talk for a couple of minutes. All right, so as I update this data, you can see that 9,930 have voted in Newport, and we will add to the drill down here in just a minute. In Middletown, we are looking at a total of 1981, 3,050. I know this isn't as fun. This is what you do when you're a small team, is you multitask and try to bring people as much information as you possibly can here. And then we have 2,318 who voted in Portsmouth today, and that brings them to a total of 67%. Way to go, Portsmouth. In Jamestown, who's really been rocking the vote today, they are sitting pretty at 75% voted in Jamestown. Over in Tiverton, we are looking at Tiverton had a pretty good day, and Tiverton is sitting at 65% of the vote, and we are waiting on results here in just a minute, as well as if we didn't have enough going on. And then Little Compton. Tiny Compton had 818, and that brings their total to 2,538. So they come in at almost 75% of the vote. Newport County at 66%, Rhode Island at 60%, and then we'll do a quick check on the data and see if there are any updates. And I apologize, I'm all over the place, but this is what we do as a small team. If you have a question, comment, you can comment right in the Facebook chat. And there are no results. No results have come down yet. They will be updating every 5 to 10 minutes as new data becomes available. And I'm looking at the statewide summary, and nothing has come down yet. So we'll continue to update this beautiful sheet that you're looking at now. And if you have a question. All right, so when we look at how the votes went in Newport, 1,181 voted at Fenner Hall today. Let's see here, 1870 voted at Pell School. Way to go. 181, 239, and 231, 651 at St. Peter's. At St. John's, we're looking at 161, 238, 142, 541 people over at St. John's. And we have 1495 at Edward King House. The Newport Public Library, which was a little quieter than I thought it would be, is a total of 1430. At Rogers High School, which is always one of the busiest here, you had 497, 653, 518. So nobody showed up in the last hour over at Rogers High School. At Thompson, you had 174, 333, as well as you had 824 people. So big turnout in the 3rd ward. And then we head back to the 1st ward as we head to Park Home. And nobody has voted there in the last hour either. So that comes out at 260. So you look at 273 mail ballots waiting. And here is how the votes landed in each ward. And you can see some big numbers in the 3rd ward as well as in the 2nd ward. Obviously, some pretty big races there. We'll jump over to Middletown for a quick minute. We will give a quick check to election results. There is nothing yet. During the primary, they popped up at about 5 minutes past, 15 minutes past. No direct reports from polling locations. Our canvassers, election officials on site tabulating. You're rocking it. Glad you're doing this. It all comes in one way. Everywhere you're going to see election results is coming the exact same way I'm showing you right now. There's no secret. Let me hit Middletown quick because there were 18 people running for 10 seats, and they had approximately 69% turnout. 18 people for 7 seats. I think I said that right. All right, over at the FOP Lodge, you had 329. Let's see here. That is 1464. Of course, all these results are unofficial and do not represent final voting tallies. I should be running that right at the bottom of the screen. Again, do not get worked up. 1641 at Gaudet. Ooh, Quinnick School had a nice big bump here at the end of the day. I don't know what that means for anybody, but 1,504. Middletown High School, you had 7 people vote in the last hour, and 2,190. Forest Ave School, we are heading for 420. 1633, and you can see the outstanding mail ballots there on the bottom. And at Town Hall, it stays at 13. I'm going to do Portsmouth, then I'm going to go back to showing you some other data. Let me check in on the results here. Again, if you have a question, thought, comment, any of that good stuff, there are no results yet in Rhode Island. We're not going to do any presidential stuff here. We know how that's going to go in Rhode Island. Let me dive over to Portsmouth quick, which is the quieter race on Aquidneck Island. 8 people running for 7 seats. There are 7 Democrats running and 1 Republican. Portsmouth, I said. So we are going to do the drill down. And let's see how Portsmouth rounded out most of the day. This is going to be 106. This is going to be 522, 673, 214, 179, 103, 459. And somehow those numbers should come close. So here is how Portsmouth voted today. Of course, this came in at 750. So there were still some votes to come in. And we'll see what happens here in just a short while on if there are more results. What we'll do is next all these results are being uploaded to the website. I just want to remind folks again that we have 3 rounds of data coming in, 3 rounds of results. So don't get too worked up on the first round. I think the first round may overall be the smallest. And let's see here. Here is the big election board, the results board, and results are coming in. So let me zoom in. Let's see if I could do that for you. Let me get my mug off the screen. Somebody comment if you can still hear me. All right. What we are going to do here is 2 of 10 precincts reporting. Oh, this is Newport. Well, let's start at the statewide summary. Again, this is 1/3. I thought you had a network of people who would report and text. Yeah. We're a team of 1, and that's the results all come in at the same exact time. That's the best we can do. I don't think anybody has a network anymore. The statewide results, 500 of 460 precincts are reporting. Let's go in kind of order here. 2 of 10 precincts reporting. Let's see which precincts are reporting. We have St. Peter's, City Hall Limited, and City Hall President. So this is very small. And very small numbers. Of course, there are 8 people running for council at large. And there was also a write-in campaign. One thing to keep note during this is Justin McLaughlin is an incumbent, but decided that he is not running anymore. Unfortunately, he made that decision or made that announcement or notified the Board of Canvassers after his name was already put on the ballot. So it'll be interesting to see this number all night, as well as this number. Megan Landry, who was one of the original 12 running for city council, is doing a write-in campaign. Ward 2, we can get some numbers here. These are all very, very small. I wouldn't look into these much at all. When we look at City of Newport School Committee, again, this is with just 2 precincts, change of the state, and then, of course, question 2, which is the school bonds. I'm going to say it a million times. You're going to get sick of me hearing it. Way too early to tell what's going on here. We just have 20% of voters that showed up today. That's 20% of only people who voted today at City Hall. So, I wouldn't watch it too closely yet. And it's a third of the results are going to come right now, a third at 10 o'clock, and then a third at 11 o'clock. What we can do is we can pop over to Portsmouth. They have 1 of 9, so they have 11% of. And let's pull this number. I don't know if we can do this right. Let me see if I can do this. So Portsmouth, how does that look for you? It's a little crunched. So that 11% of precincts reporting is only of this 2,318. So I wouldn't make a big stink of it at all yet. What I'm going to do is I am going to refresh the votes and see 20 of 460 precincts reporting thus far. So we'll sit and wait and see what happens. Middletown, 0%. Let's see who is reporting. If you want to see any particular town or community, drop it in the comments. And East Greenwich at 16. They don't have much going on over there. So it's pretty early. What I'll do is I will show you these numbers again. This is the turnout as of 7:50. And we're just getting an update here. Slowly. Very slowly. Results are unofficial, do not represent the final. So that is a 7:50 update that we're looking at right here. Some great turnout. All right, let's go back to the results. And what I might do is put this on the results for a moment while I call and get an update on to see if there are any snags or anything else. So stand by, watch the results. I'll make sure I keep refreshing them while I make a phone call to check in on results coming in. All right, there are nothing to worry about. Results are just getting loaded now and should be showing up any moment. And you can see we now have it's still 11% here in Portsmouth. Diving down, this is an interesting one. 72, no votes in yet. Let me just grab Middletown's information. I'm not grabbing their 13 items on the back of their ballot. Let's see here. Again, 10 o'clock will be the next update. 8 o'clock is the one that we are waiting on now. So we will be probably on and off with you all evening. And I have in contact with just about all the candidates, and we'll be providing updates. In Middletown, we got 33% of the votes in thus far. And we can scroll down. And I'll give you a moment to look at the town council. Again, there are 18 people running for 7 seats, which is a large number. Let me see here. Technology never works the way you want it to. And if you want to see a certain race, oh, I know, Matt. I need a Ragged Island as well. Matt is up in Portsmouth, and what I'll do is I will grab Portsmouth here in a minute for you, Matt. If in case anybody missed the beginning, I am a working solo, but I do have the tools to bring you updates. So let's do that. This is just one of the tools. In case you missed this earlier, here's what we're looking at for turnout, outstanding mail ballots. If these get turned in today, it'll be very interesting to see how they impact. Any mail ballots that were turned in today will not get counted till Wednesday, Thursday. Provisional ballots won't get counted till Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll see what those numbers are. But this is as of 7:50. What the turnouts are: 75.4, 67, and this is Newport County. In Newport, there was some big old ward races. And you can see that 1,500 people showed out in, 3,098 showed up at 3rd Ward, 4,151 in the 2nd, and 2,600 in the 1st, which all of them have competitions. We go back to the results. Have a question, want to see a particular race, put it in the comments. In the state, we have 21% of the results. What is that 21%? That 21% is of this number here. So let me try to bring it in a little closer for you. So that what we're seeing right now is just of this election day voters number. At 10 p.m., we go with the early voters, which is a big number. And then at 11 p.m., we go with the received mail ballots. So you can see why not to panic, worry, cry, jump up and down, or do much of anything based on this number. It's a very long Band-Aid that we're all pulling off at this time. But out of that 173,000, this is what we are looking at. President Trump is currently, with 34% of precincts voters reporting. He's currently leading in Rhode Island. Let's see here. And then we will just go down. Jack Reed, Senator Reed, Representative Cicilline. It's an interesting one to watch here between Langevin and Lancia. Overall, in the state, question 1 is getting the reject. At this point, I can't express enough that it's very early. Newport, we have 5 of 10 precincts reporting. That is a 50%. This is all hogwash. No disrespect to anybody here. Rep. Carson is facing Republican Patrick Donovan, 186-122, currently with 50% of today's voters counted. When we look at Newport City Council at large, top 4 vote getters will become City Council at large. Very early still. Lynn Underwood Segley was the representative of Ward 2. Threw her hat in the ring for at large. We have an incumbent here. We have an incumbent here. Again, this incumbent isn't running anymore, but what made it known too late for them to get it off the ballot. Right in here, which is Megan Landry. Council Ward 1, incumbent, Angela McCalla. Ward 2, because Lynn Segley ran for at-large, there is no incumbent here. And this is who we have, Holder versus Salerno. And we can see, and there's a write-in. Very interesting. Ward 3, there are 0 results back. A lot of people watching that race. In the school committee, 7 make it out of these 10. And we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mr. Carlin has been on school committee before. He isn't an incumbent right now. You have newcomer James Drain coming in third place currently. In Newport, we so far are approving. And then in the school bonds, so far it is 76 to 23 with 50% of the vote in. So that is where we are sitting with Newport City Council at this time. In Newport, City of Newport at this time. Let me see. Let me go to your comments. Yep. All right. So let's go back to the statewide summary and wait for, we're at 34%. We're really waiting. If there's a certain city, town, race, let's go over to Cranston for a minute. For those who care about, Speaker Mattiello is in a big old race with Barbara Ann Fenton Fung, the wife of Cranston Mayor Alan Fung, and right now has 64% of the vote with 51% of today's voters counted. Again, these numbers are not all the voters. This is only people who went to the polls today. So hopefully, I should put that on the bottom. Numbers you're looking at are only voters who went today. I don't have a third hand. Middletown has 66% of the vote in. Portsmouth, 33. And Newport has 50. So let's go to Middletown, who seems to be moving ahead here. I know what I want to check in Middletown. Question 2 in Middletown is doing 77%. So it's doing pretty well. They also voted to reject so far. 7 to elect out of this crowd of 18 here in Middletown. And so let's see here. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So end at Sylvia, and that is 7. So you got incumbent sitting here. So you have one incumbent not in the top 7 right now. Incumbent, new. So 5 out of the 7 are incumbents. School committee. 2 to elect. Deb Ruggiero has no challenger. We go back to the statewide and see what we get here. Yes, it is amazing how a candidate can draw when they've removed their name, but unfortunately, I guess once you get past the deadline. Wow, this is very interesting that Alan Waters has pulled so many votes, but I did just see that WPRI is reporting that Jack Reed has won his 5th term in U.S. Senate. So out of 50% of, that's a bold prediction, out of 50% of only the people who voted today, WPRI just called Jack Reed to win this here. So they must know something that I don't see, because they do not have the mail ballots yet. They don't have the early in-person. They do not have provisional. They do not have mail ballots dropped off today. So that is one thing that WPRI just called. All right. What we'll do is I will step back for a minute. Thank you for all you're doing. You are welcome. If you have any questions, want to see any data or updates, let me see here. That is the turnout. You know, one of the things to watch if you are in Newport, let's go down to Newport. So, for example, in this Ward 2, 394 to 244. And that, again, only people who voted today. Well, when we go to Ward 2, and this is why we built this data today, there were 4,151. There were 1,800 mail ballots sent out. There's only 106. Will these 106, which could have possibly been dropped off today, play a part in this race? Will the 82? Will the 85? So you'd see 1,697 out of 1,803. So it's very important to keep these numbers in mind where they could have been dropped off today and could play in the totals somewhere. You don't know how close it's going to be. But we'll keep our eye on it. Nothing from Ward 3 as of yet. Nothing from 06, nothing from 07, which are both Ward 3. So we are waiting on Edward King House, which was very busy today, Newport Public Library, and Rogers High School. 7 out of 10 precincts reporting at this time. There's nothing up ballot too exciting. It's worth watching District 75, which is Newport, but Abney, Oyer, De Palma, all were unchallenged. Keeping an eye on the council at large. Up to 253 votes for a candidate who isn't running for office. 80 for a write-in candidate. Megan Landry. We have currently these 4. How does that look? Yeah. These 4 who are making it at large. Still early. Still very early. I'm not predicting. I'm not calling anything. Here in Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3. We are waiting for 100% of the vote. And I think we'll get there. 100% of the early in-person vote, I should mention. As we check. Going to show you, he has now 2, yes, he does. Going to show you the data and keep refreshing it while I make a phone call to check to see what is going on in Ward 3. Stay tuned. All right, we are back here. The data is coming, I am told. Right now, we're looking at Newport. If you want to see this particular race, have a question, just put it in the comments. And there we are. Again, if you're just joining us, this is only those who voted today. We're expecting the next big data update at 10 and 11. We have 9 precincts in here in Newport now. We are just waiting on Newport Public Library. And we can find out how many people voted at Newport Public Library right here. And so we are waiting on... we are doing election day voters, 97 votes. So it's not much. And when we go down the ballots, Carson versus Donovan, pretty tight for that race there. Again, we are only looking at very, very, very early results. Top 4, carry on to City Hall. What will this 397 and 124 mean for those who make the top 4 or don't make the top 4 here in Ward 2? And we are seeing our first look at Ward 3 results. And currently, Paul Marshall is, with very little votes in, is leading the incumbent Leonard. And let me tell you how many people. So that is out of, I have a number of 497 people voting early. Actually, I have a number of 594 people voting today in Ward 3. We are still waiting for 1 precinct. School bond question 7822 for supporters of that. That is might be some good. This is a statewide question. Top 7. 1. 1. 1. Megan Landry, 397 according to the official site. I don't know, 397, 397, 124. Let's see if we can get a refresh here and see if we get, we're still at 9 out of 10. Let's go back to the statewide primary and see what's going on there. Surprisingly, 85% of in-person voters today, this is the data. So the 2. Megan, if you could clarify, I can make sure I have the right number of what that 397 you're saying is. So statewide summary, election day voters in the state was 173,459 voted today in Rhode Island. So 85% of 173,000 is what you're looking at. Got Block Island reporting 100, North Kingstown 100, Middletown 83, Portsmouth 100. Let's go to Portsmouth here. Stay on the island while we wait for Newport to catch up. District 69, District 70, District 71. As you can tell by, I might have said the wrong number. Sorry about that, Megan. As you can tell by some of the in-person voters, a lot of Republicans are out ahead today. Another Republican out ahead. Another Republican out ahead. 7 Democrats in Portsmouth. They run on council with party affiliation. So you have 7 Democrats and 1 Republican. The Republican is actually an incumbent. The newcomer here is this gentleman here. And then there's a lot of questions. Let's do a refresh. Again, if you're just joining us, 8 o'clock, this is just the people who showed up today. 10 o'clock, we are going to go to early in-person emergency voters, which is going to be a big old number. And then at 11 o'clock will be mail ballots. So 3 phases. Do not get your hopes up. Do not get your hopes down if things aren't looking your way right now, because there are just as many votes coming, if not more, about the same in the next 2. Let's see, statewide summary. 86 reporting. Newport is still at 90%. I'm going to bring the data up while I make another phone call and check in on the data for you. All right. Let me bring the data a little bit bigger. It's coming in. Just a lot of people showed up today. Obviously not as many as normal. We have 88% of in-person voters today being counted, which, if you want to take another lesson, that 88% is looking at this number, 173,459. 10 p.m., we get the 149,546. 11 p.m., we get the 64,509. If you want to take it to Newport, if you care only about Newport and not the rest of Rhode Island, you're selfish. But I'll tell you anyway. Right now, we're talking about 2,300 votes. So Newport election day voters was among the smallest. I guess in a lot of the communities it was. At 10 o'clock, we will get the 3377. And then the biggie. Mail ballots at 11 p.m. We'll hear about 4,163. Why it's so important, none of the races or results you see, they mean about 33%, which is just more data and more things to care about. Let's go back and look at it and see what we have across the state. We went from 88% to 88%. In Newport, we're going to sit here waiting on the library, which is Ward 3. We'll go back. Former mayor and current council Jean Marie Napolitano leading with the top counts. Kevin Michaud, who's a newcomer at 1,022. Current mayor Jimmy Bova in third. Former Ward 2 councilor Lynn Segley at number 4, and so on. You can see all that. And let's see if I'm getting a notification here of any particular. Nope. Just people looking for results. Just a reminder, what you're looking at on this page is only today's election day results. Prepare for big shifts when early vote after 9 p.m. and mail ballots are added. So we're saying 10 and 11, as well as the Board of Elections. Ward 1, incumbent Angela McCalla, 67. Charlie Holder versus Kim Salerno. Charlie has a little bit of a lead there, 528 to 340, 5 write-ins. We all writing in here in the ward seats. And then 264 to 251 for in-person for Ward 3. Still a ward, still a precinct missing from Ward 3. Only one of 2 precincts reporting at this time. We're sitting at 88% and waiting. If you want to see any other races, have any other questions, now is the time. Again, Rhode Island saw a record number of people vote in this election. It didn't exceed the percentage of previous elections, but it preceded the number of people who have voted. And you can see some of those numbers here. We were sitting at the last update I had of 60%. Board of Elections says nothing. That's okay. Big turnout here in Little Compton, 74%, but Jamestown at 75%. We're just sitting pretty. What I'll do is I will check in. The graphs are too small to read even with my glasses on. Well, sorry about that, Claire. I made them larger earlier. Claire, you comment what you want to know about or see in the power of live video. I can answer your question or bring you the data you are looking for. So those who are wondering right now, what I'm doing is I am looking. This is only votes by Fenner Hall, so I'm looking at the precincts to see what is going on. It's interesting to see how people do in different precincts, and that's what I'm just attempting to do now. So another interesting one from WPRI. Let's go to statewide races. Again, the data we're looking at is only the people who voted today. But WPRI is reporting that the AP, which is the Associated Press, projects that House Speaker Nicholas Mattiello has been defeated by Barbara Ann Fenton Fung in the District 15 race. I guess I got to get used to saying her name. And if we come down here, I missed it. There it is. So the AP has seen enough to call this race, which is wild because there are so many outstanding votes still. I'm not sure how you call it when it's so close, but that's what the Associated Press has called this race. The Associated Press has said, I'm just trying to. AP, Fenton Fung beats Speaker Mattiello in Cranston, calling it a major upset. Very interesting. Looks too early for me. Newport is still sitting at 90. All right, what we're going to do is I am going to make a few phone calls and make sure everything is going well down there. We are waiting on the Newport Public Library. Make a few phone calls. What I'll do is I'll leave the results up. I'll keep moving them around, refreshing them so you can see if they update. And if you have any questions, want to see certain races, again, sick of seeing the same data, just put it in the comments, and I will make sure that I change that. Somebody says the graph is too small. Looks mighty big to me. Looks like we might be waiting a little while for Newport Public Library to report in, but let me check one more time before I hang up on you for a little while, and then we'll come back in about an hour. Here is the results of just the folks who showed up at the polls today. At Newport, we're sitting at 90%, Portsmouth at 100%, Middletown at 83%. 5 of 6 precincts reporting over in Middletown. And when we get down to it, Senator DePalma, unopposed. District 72. District 73, unopposed. 74, unopposed. Town of Middletown School Committee, elect 2. Town of Middletown 7. Again, these are early numbers. Don't make too much about any of these numbers. Just trying to give you an idea of which way the evening is going. I would say this is about 1/3 of the vote. Big number for preservation and open space in Middletown. Portsmouth is 100% of those who voted today. 9 of 9 precincts reporting. Those who showed up at the polls today in Portsmouth favored President Trump, favored Alan Waters, favored Cicilline, Costa, Borden, Very, Menanka. 7 to elect. 3 to elect. 3 running. And we will go to Newport one more time before I hang up on you. If you want me to hit any race, let me know now. And then we'll come back if we get the library. Yeah, we're waiting on Newport Public Library, which, according to my data, we are waiting on. I'm going to pull it up on screen here. Newport Public Library. We are waiting on 97 election day voters. So not many in 3rd Ward. But here we go. We are at 4 to elect. 1, 7. Oh, so those 97 in Ward 3 obviously would make a difference. So we are waiting on those. Of course, at 10 o'clock, we will get all the early voting, in-person voting, emergency voting, and then at 11 we get the mail ballots. Long night ahead. What we will do is we'll keep updating our website. We will jump up on here in just a short while when there's more data. So if you have not already, there is a get notifications when we go live button somewhere on your screen. Click that and you will know when we come live again. Again, we'll keep bringing you all the latest results. We're waiting on 2106, the Newport Public Library, to button up the final results for the election day voters. So we're waiting on about 97 election day voters. Overall, 1,430 people have voted out of that precinct, but we're just waiting on 97 out of them right now. One more check before we say so long for now. Precincts are starting to show up for Rhode Island, and we don't have anything for Newport. All right, we will be back in a short while. Thanks for watching.